Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. Hope you're having an absolutely outstanding day and continue to do so. I just got to tell you, I'm so excited that how blessed are we to be an early adopter in this new asset class that is the digital asset space. And yes, my friends, you and I are playing a game that 99.99% of the masses don't even know is being played, and we are winning. I'm going to go over a couple of videos today. One from David Schwartz at the XRP Las Vegas event, and one from Jeff Booth being interviewed on a YouTube channel by a very, very prominent, successful real estate investor. And I wanted to kind of share these two videos, maybe give a little commentary on each one. I'll probably play somewhere between 5 to 7 minutes of each one. But I thought it was important for perspective because I think we're at a point in time that we just kind of have to know where we are and know what it is that we hold and understand why this new financial system is important. And for me, it goes beyond just holding valuable assets. It's an awakening of a corrupt financial system, of a system that has been robbing you and I of our wealth, and the realization of those things is important, and I think it's fascinating. And I could begin to kind of pontificate myself, but I thought, why not listen to two geniuses who in their own right have figured some stuff out and are willing to share with it. The more I listen to David, the more and more I just, sometimes, there are brilliant people that are not good dudes and want other people to win and don't want other people to win. And then there are brilliant people who are good dudes and do want other people to win. And it's so hugely important to understand the differences and to recognize being blessed to come across people who are brilliant, who do want to share and do want the rest of the world to win as well. So let's get into it. This is your XRP Ripple Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. Let's go over the market real quick because, the market is doing what the market does. I'm still trying to understand why Friend Tech, it's up 82%. I mean, I guess that's awesome. And how is Celsius Network up 91%? Celsius Network, the Cell token, who's buying it? Like, who is buying the Cell token from Celsius Network? I don't understand it. But in 24 hours, it's up 91%. Now, I don't know what it was down to, but goodness gracious. In any case, according to CoinGecko, the total cryptocurrency market cap is at 2.5 trillion. Bitcoin dominance is in the 50-something% Tau range. Bitcoin is trading at $64,281 again. Ethereum is trading at $3,151 again. And Solana is trading at $147 again. XRP is trading at 53 cents. The market family is just ranging between, I don't know, right now we could say the range is 57,000 to 70,000. It's okay to say 60 to 70,000. I was going to fault you for saying that, but ultimately, family, the market is just doing what it does, and it is, without question, ranging, absolutely raising. So there are the numbers. Now let's go over. Shout out to Bank XRP. I don't know how this guy is able to get the best audio ever from the event, and others just were not. But I guess this is Bank XRP. This is what he does. This is from the XRP Las Vegas event. And I'm telling you, the audio is awesome. The video quality is, I don't know how he does it. I don't know. Maybe he was allowed. I don't know. But in any case, let's say thank you, Bank XRP, for doing this. And let's take a listen to some of the wisdom that is and genius that is David Schwartz.
Announced that we're going to launch a stablecoin. We didn't say much beyond that, and there are going to be, follow-up announcements. But once we started talking to partners and everything, it was going to get out one way or another. So we figured we might as well tell everybody. So one of the things.
So what's up with the partners and others that it was going to get out of it? What's the partners about in this Ripple stablecoin? What is that about?
That we noticed is that stablecoins are integral to DeFi. They are a piece along with cryptocurrencies, along with distributed ledgers. These are all different components that solve different problems and that work better together than alone. One of the things that I've discovered is that there's a lot of different problems that people have that require different solutions. XRP is not going to solve every problem in the cryptocurrency space. The XRP ledger is not going to solve every problem in the cryptocurrency space.
I hope the XRP entertaining content creators are listening to that, because oftentimes they come across as though XRP is going to solve every issue in the world, and that the XRP ledger is going to solve every issue in the world.
That's not how it's going to work. That's not how it worked in the internet space, right? There's no one company, product, or service that is the internet. What makes the internet so great is that there's a wide variety of solutions that appeal to a wide variety of people. And because of that, if you're launching a new product or service and you launch it on the internet, you have a target market of people who have home internet access, who have smartphones. They're internet consumers. And what we need is an ecosystem of blockchain cryptocurrency consumers, people who have access to this diverse ecosystem of products and services. Where a stablecoin is particularly important is where the volatility of a digital asset is a minus. There are a lot of applications where the volatility of a digital asset doesn't matter very much, or where it's a plus. Obviously, if you're holding XRP or any other digital asset for speculative value, volatility is fine. If you're a trader, volatility is fine. If you're an exchange, volatility is fine. And even in many payment applications, volatility is not a problem. But there are some applications, particularly in applications that are tightly regulated, where using a digital asset directly for the application is not possible, or at least not possible today. And if we limit ourselves to just the technologies that we most want other people to use, other people are going to have terrible experiences. Would I love for everybody to use XRP for every payment? That would be wonderful. But if I tell you, if you don't use XRP for every payment, there's nothing for you here, nobody would be this room would be completely empty. And so the stablecoin is critical in regulated environments. In many cases where a digital asset can't be used directly as a sort of intermediary asset, there's cases where if it's cross jurisdiction, where a digital asset is better. And so what we also discovered that there's a lack of good stablecoins on the XRP ledger. I don't want to criticize. I don't mean that there are no good stablecoins on the XRP ledger. There are stablecoins on the XRP ledger, but there isn't sort of one that's kind of grabbed the kind of attention that I think that you need to get that kind of critical mass. And so we thought that launching a stablecoin made sense, both for some of our institutional customers that can't use digital assets for payments, markets where digital assets don't work well, areas where volatility is times. So we're going to target those types of use cases.
David, is there a name for the Ripple stablecoin?
Okay, I don't want to go into that one. Let me share this thing here. I think it was from Vet, who shared something very, very interesting about David Schwartz making the statements. And in fact, it was about the stable coins, and Vet caught on to something that perhaps maybe some people missed, and why Ripple was, here it is right here. Oh, what happened to that? It was just there and now it's not there. How does it do that? I may need to go directly to that, but I was just going to share it, and it just, there it is. Here's Vet, who does just a great job of a value add to the XRPL and XRP community. When David said that the Ripple stablecoin works well for institutions that can't yet use digital assets, but still want to use the XRP ledger. Interesting. They can't use digital assets yet because this is, got the things like SAB, the SAB 121 and other madness that the three-letter agencies in the US are imposing. Right? So when David said the Ripple stablecoin works well for institutions that can't yet use digital assets, but still want to use the XRP ledger, which is awesome, by the way. The more we can allow people to be on chain, the better. And that's exactly what David Schwartz says. The allow we can allow more people to be on chain, the better. Be on the XRP ledger with a stable coin instead of in fiat, right? Instead of being on fiat. Let's see where I can't use this, but which also, by the way, the more we can be in a better, instead of fiat on a centralized exchange. And that's exactly right. You know, they tried the centralized exchange kind of model, not that they've kind of gotten away from it. Remember when they were contracting and these using these centralized exchanges for stuff, ended up not working as well as they would have liked it to work. So be on the XRPL ledger with a stable coin instead of in fiat on a centralized exchange, whatever that might look like. He says, Vet goes on to say, but the recent XLS 68D sponsor spec came to mind. Institutions that can't touch XRP yet would still need some XRP for transaction fees. So this XLS 68 proposal is kind of coming out. So they still need to hold some anyway. But with the XLS 68, you can have them not touch it at all and have someone else sponsor transaction fees for them. In this case, Ripple as the sponsor, until they are comfortable and are allowed really to use digital assets. It's a step in between, 100%. And again, just being on the ledger is going to be hugely important as well. So that was a great point that I wanted to share from Vet. And, you know, a lot of the things in the proposals that Ripple was coming up with is they're realizing that, look, there's some barriers to entry that institutions want to get on the ledger. They want to use public blockchains. They want to leverage the features of moving anything of value in 3 to 5 seconds for less than a penny. Their challenges are in holding the asset. Their challenges are in custodying the asset. And we got to give them some options until they are able to do this, right? Until the strangleholds and the operation choke points 2.0 and 3.0 are no longer a thing, right? So I think it's really like what Rob Paul says. Rob Paul says that they're not really trying to kill it. They want to kind of slow it down. I could lean a little that way, but I would, even if I didn't lean that way, it would still be like 51% to 49% in terms of that. So now let's in terms of them not wanting to kill the digital asset space, which is essentially a new financial system that is causing, you know, the ultra wealthy to get richer and the middle class and the poor to just take a beating. Now, I'm going to start this interview. I highly recommend you guys check this out. You obviously, you know, you can go to Bank XRP on YouTube to get that full 26 minutes with David Schwartz. Absolutely outstanding stuff. And again, thank you, Bank XRP, for sharing and doing that and sharing that with the community. Hopefully I'll remember to put this link in the description of the video, but this is from the Everyday Millionaire Mindset Matters. Patrick Francis interviewing Jeff Booth, author of The Promise of Tomorrow, Bitcoin kind of ecosystem builder. He's got a capital fund, which is essentially around this new financial system that is Bitcoin. I'm going to let you guys listen to this. I know I've done a video or two about, you know, we I believe have to get back to the old mantra back in 2016, early 17, which was, you know, these other digital assets that we're holding and we're doing things with. It was always about this idea was getting more Bitcoin. It was always about having more Bitcoin tomorrow than you have today, having more Bitcoin next month than you have this month, having more Bitcoin next year than you have this year. It was always about that in terms of creating generational wealth. Not that there's not value in the other assets, not that there is not that. There is, especially in the technology, right? Those protocols that these assets reside on. Those are the values, right? That's why you want to hold XRP, because it's a native asset to the groundbreaking and awesome technology that is the XRPL. And our quest is a lot of times finding these valuable protocols that we can have ownership in the protocols by finding the valuable ones, like perhaps Hedera hash graph, right? For an example, right? Like Sui, like Say, for example, right? Solana's blockchain. Listen, that thing is going to be incredibly awesome if you're doing your homework, if you understand it, and you're doing your deep dive on it. But in any case, let's take a listen to, this is why we hold Solana, the token, because we can take ownership in the blockchain, in the protocol. But take a listen here now.
Tomorrow, his journey into the realm of economics and finance has been nice. But what if we were to stretch to have a paradigm shift of how we view Bitcoin and money? I'm honored to have my guest today, Jeff Booth, join me on the podcast. He is a visionary entrepreneur, investor, and author of his book, The Price of Tomorrow. His journey into the realm of economics and finance has been nothing short of transformative, and he is a steadfast advocate for Bitcoin, and his insights into the potential of this digital currency are unparalleled. Through his examination and commitment to first principles thinking, he's come to view Bitcoin as not just a currency, but as the cornerstone of a new economic and financial paradigm, one that is equitable, inclusive, and stable. Before we get the show started, just a reminder, please subscribe, like, share, comment of what you think about the show. This was definitely a stretch for me into this big conversation. Listen in, enjoy. Let's get this show started. Welcome. Thanks for joining me on the show today.
No problem at all, Patrick. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you know, it's this is the second time on the show, so anybody listening, we'll put the link in below to the show you did. A lot has changed since you did the show. I think it was in 2021 is when you did the show, and a lot has changed since then, and a lot of, I guess, water under that bridge when we talk about what's going on economically. So thanks for coming back. And so, Jeff, let's get into the conversation today, because what's hot right now is the conversation around Bitcoin. And I want to be cautious not to use the term cryptocurrencies. I just prefer to talk about Bitcoin, and we can kind of go off on a tangent if we want. But you know, you're very, I don't know, you're a strong proponent, if that's the right term. You understand it well. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Why is it going up? Why does it matter? Let's kind of open up the conversation there.
Yeah, so this will play out right off your last show, and if you understand kind of what's happening, and most people don't, it's super easy to see. It's like super easy to see. We have a financial system in the world today that is based on credit. And that credit must grow exponentially forever and fight the deflationary forces of technology. So what should happen in a free market? The natural state of the free market is deflation. Now think about what that means, right? Mm-hmm. So everybody nods their heads when I say that, because they know it's true, because we use things that give us more value, and entrepreneurs solve problems and create more value. And we wouldn't use things that didn't give us less value. So everyone nods their head. Economists alike nod their head, and that's true. And then go straight back into an environment that is inflationary and try to protect all of their assets from that inflation, which is really just manipulation of money, and everybody's inside that system measuring Bitcoin. All Bitcoin is doing, if it stays decentralized and secure, which is inevitable, I think, it is repricing everything in the world, and because in Bitcoin terms, all prices are falling to the marginal cost of production, and they will forever. That means real estate will. That means Google's cash flows will. That means all things are being repriced in Bitcoin. And then what people are doing, and why it's so easy to see, but people are doing is they're converting Bitcoin to the currency that's being manipulated. and then thinking Bitcoin's going up, because they're measuring everything from that currency, and they're making tremendous errors in their judgment in that. And actually, that's what's driving most of the errors across people investing in the wrong things as well, because they can't see that that something that's outside of the system, it's the only thing that's outside of the system, is repricing the entire system.
What's an interesting point is that it's the only thing outside of the system that is repricing the entire system. And I love it when he says it, and I'll probably let you hear it. I don't know if he says it in his first 7 minutes. But it's how can you not say, what? Wow. So he talks about his home. He has a second home, a lake. I don't know. He said it was his lake house. So I don't know if that's his first, second, third, whatever. And he said in, whatever year it was, that lake house was 300 Bitcoin. It was 300 Bitcoin. And today it's 30 Bitcoin. I'm like, wait a minute. Right? Think about that. It was 300 Bitcoin. Now it's 30 Bitcoin. And in the financial system, right, it's the other way around. Think about it. A home 10 to 15 years ago cost $100,000. And today it costs more. It costs more. 200,000, 300,000. Like, think about that for a second. In the fiat world, which is inflationary and credit-based system, 20 years ago, $100,000 home, you pay $100,000 with this fiat. 20 years later, it costs more for the same home. But in Bitcoin terms, you got a certain amount of Bitcoin, right? 300 Bitcoin, whatever year it was. And today it's less Bitcoin. You're giving up less of the asset to get the home. Do you understand? That is interesting. It's really, really interesting when you think about that. A lot of people don't think about, when you think about the net overall of holding, you could say what is it, 500,000%? I think it's 500,000%, something like that. From beginning to today, price of Bitcoin, you could say that. But I think there's like this net thing of year over year, it's 150%. Year over year is 150%. In a traditional financial world, people kill themselves for 8 to 15%. There comes a point when you can't, you can no longer argue it. There comes a point when you can't rationalize not acknowledging that. We hear things about it's the greatest network adoption in the history of any technology. The network adoption is greater than the internet. It grew faster than the internet. It grew faster than the internet. And is growing faster than the internet in terms of network adoption, or what they call Metcalfe's law. But, just something to think about. Again, highly recommend you check out this interview here. It's fascinating. Let's listen some more.
It's an interesting phenomena around the education and the shift that's happened. Certainly it's been going on for many years, but where it's really starting to show up, of course, is in the past 4 or 5 years since, the pandemic and all the things that went on, and the quantitative easing, and, the real printing of money. And when you talk about a manipulated system, I don't think anybody at that, up until really over the past 2 or 3 years, people even had a concept of what that the system was, or maybe is being manipulated, however you want to kind of approach that. So this is all a brand new conversation that I think many people, number one, are still not aware of. Secondly, I think it's challenging for some people to understand. And I know that there's, guys like you, Michael Saylor's a big proponent. He does a great job like you of explaining certain things and why Bitcoin is what it is, what fiat currency is about. But let me just kind of have a question for you, Jeff, in terms of when we talk about a manipulated system, do you have a simplified way of describing what manipulated means?
Yeah, so just remember everything that most people measure from, and I mean everything, is from that manipulation. So that why what we're talking about is so confusing is because of that. And that's why you have to think about in first principles. If prices fall to the marginal cost of production in a free market, and we know that's true. And
so when he says that prices fall to the marginal cost of production, a great example is one that he uses a lot is well, I don't know if he uses a lot, but one he used in this interview was talking about when a lot of people probably don't remember this, but there used to be come a time and day where you could buy an album of music and you get 10, 12, and it costs you $25. Then you could buy, a few years later, you could get a CD, and you can get like 15, 18, whatever. And now today, for that same amount of money, you get unlimited amounts of music for even less. First, what, $8.99, $10.99, right? Because the technology advancing is deflationary. In other words, because of technology, things become less and less expensive for you and I to experience. And inflation is kind of the exact opposite of that. Inflation causes assets and things to rise. Think about that. And the underlying thing, bottom line, besides to the point of Bitcoin, is it's a technology. In a lot of ways, it's a lot of principles and stuff behind it that make it that complement to technology, but it's a technology.
It's why your calculator app is free today, right? It's a line of code. And what's the cost of a line of code? Zero. It's why AI is free today. What's the line of code created by other lines of code? And you can see this moving everywhere. So that is the free market. But everybody's measuring the free market from something that must keep prices going up, and the only reason prices go up is you create more monetary units to make them go up. And you don't have a vote in those monetary units. Now, by the way, Patrick, this has been going on for way longer than people realize, because it's a system. This is what I wrote about in my book. And my book was published now 4.5 years ago. And it was written in the year.
That point about you don't have a vote and the monetary units going up is, think about that. You don't have a vote in the monetary amount of monetary units going up. President and Congress do, but you and I, we don't have a vote in that, unless we vote for people who don't want the monetary units to go up. It's very, very interesting. It's kind of like in the digital asset space as well, in places and spots and ecosystems, you have a vote on the monetary policy, you have a vote on the direction of said blockchain, and in others, you don't.
You're proceeding. And I said the free market, so people are measuring inflation from zero. They should be measuring from the implied deflation rate of the free market. So what that means is their money is being stolen from them at an ever increasing rate, and what should be happening is all people on this planet should be getting richer by the natural rate of deflation.
And I'm going to end the video there. Highly recommend you guys check it out. It's called "Can You Still Secure Your Future with Bitcoin?" People are getting robbed. It's stolen. Their wealth is being stolen. People should be getting richer. People should be getting richer. But those two things are happening. The theft is happening. People are not getting richer. The top 1% of the 1% of the 1% are getting wealthier, but everyone else is not, because of this manipulated system. And somewhere along the lines, people got to ask themselves, like, I can't tell you personally how many things on X, how many things in YouTube Shorts, I come across people literally, they keep saying how they can't afford to live. Like literally, they keep saying they're working 2 jobs, they can't afford to live. They're doing this, they can't afford it. Everyone's saying, a lot of people are saying it. Lots and lots of people are saying how they can't, they're not able to get by. And lots and lots of people are doing this thing where they're calling it the reestablishing the family. And they're saying, no. Instead of having 5, 6 of my siblings and whatever out wherever trying to live, they're coming back into one unit and they're helping each other in one unit, in one home. Right? One utility bill, one rent payment. And then everybody collectively is putting into that. It's something that the Koreans, obviously Latino communities have done it. The Koreans really mastered that type of deal. They have something, I forget the name of it, but it's they have this collection of a pot of income that everyone puts in every single month. Different families and businesses collectively put into something to help them grow. It's kind of the same concept. So, but anyway, I'm going to leave it here. You know, the theft is real. If you're thinking about why, how come, why do I feel like I'm just constantly getting behind? The theft is real. And the reality is that we should be getting richer year over year over year. And in this new financial system, there's one asset that is doing that for you every single year. This is why I shared the dollar cost average strategy with you guys. Because the reality of 150%, 125, 150% every single year, year over year, you can't argue it. And you have to pay attention to it. Think about the 2 or 3 bull runs that you've been in, and just kind of think for yourself, how is that going? And I know that the people that were from 26, let's use a reasonable number, 2014. I know the people from 2014 for a fact feel more wealthier today than what they were just buying Bitcoin, are wealthier today. Are wealthier today than the vast majority of altcoin holders only. So something to think about, something to ponder for sure. So there it is, fam. Listen, this wraps up. Thanks for letting me hang out with you guys on a Sunday and share these 2 videos with you guys. Again, this interview is, the title of the video is, Can You Still Secure Your Future with Bitcoin? Can you still secure your future with Bitcoins? With Bitcoin. All right, fam. So listen, this wraps up the XRP Ripple Daily News in around 0 to 10 minutes. I hope that it has been of value. Hope that it has been of value too. If it has, do me a favor and hit that like button. And if you've been hanging out watching the crypto season, you have enjoyed those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. I only got like 50% of people watching and subscribe to the channel. Let's try to get that number that are not subscribed, I should say. So more than 50% are not subscribed that are watching. Let's bring that thing down, get more people subscribed. That'd be super awesome and highly, truly appreciated. All right, fam. So again, I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we are already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.